Hello, and welcome to Kirkwood's Adjunct Faculty Roadmap to Success. Today, we are going to be working on lesson planning using a method called backward design. Normally, when teachers start to plan their lessons, they begin with activities, then assessment, and finally attempt to tie activities and assessment to course outcomes. The problem with designing a lesson around activities is that we forget to address why we are doing those activities and our students lack context. In backwards design, we flip the script and begin by asking ourselves, what do I want my students to be able to know or do by the end of this course? Once we can answer this question, we move on to our assessment. In assessment, we ask ourselves, how will I know that my students have learned this content? Finally, we move on to planning our strategies. And we ask ourselves, what do I need to do to make sure that my students can meet course outcomes? As an example, let's pretend you are teaching a driver's education course. What should the student be able to know and do by the end of the course? If we think about our course outcomes, we can probably come up with a whole list of things. They should be able to steer and stop. They should be able to park and back up. And they should be able to drive the speed limit and obey traffic laws. These are examples of learning outcomes. The learning outcomes create a picture of what good driving looks like and what we want our students to know and do before they hit the road. Next, we ask ourselves, how will I know that my students can steer and stop? How will I know that they can park and back up? And how will I know that they can drive the speed limit and obey traffic laws? Well, we are going to test them. Students must be able to demonstrate safe driving behind the wheel, and students must identify safe practices on a written test. Finally, we come back to our activities. Teaching all of those skills is not going to happen in one day, so we break it into smaller chunks. On day 1, we will teach only steering and stopping. The activities that are designed will only have to do with steering and stopping. Using your powers as a creative teacher, consider what you would do to teach someone how to steer and stop in a car for the very first time. What would you say? What kinds of activities would you design? This is your chance to try it. After we know what we want to teach and how we will assess, creating activities is the fun part. Just make sure that they help students reach those course outcomes. Considering outcomes is the goal of backwards design. It is an important tool when designing day-to-day lessons because it allows teachers to be intentional and explicit about their design. Tools like this can help teachers prepare lessons that are practical and effective. They focus on the most important content, and it gives students relevance to their long-term goals. Give backwards design a try and see how it can help you.